guys, and welcome back to the Debater with me, Grace, and Emily here. So, today we're going to talk about the new Marvel film, Spider Man No Way Home. We're all very excited. We've been waiting a long time for this. So, we're going to talk about our thoughts and theories. So, we're going to split it in four parts. We're going to talk about the non spoiler. Then we're going to talk the spoilers, which is about the whole film. Then we're going to do mid credits and then the end credits. And we also got timestamps in the description down below. So please click that if you want to skip some parts. So let's get right to it. So when I first seen the trailer, I was really excited. You could see our reaction to the first trailer in Twitter account. But I was so hyped for the film because the very end where we see Dr. Octopus and the Green Goblin, we just knew this was going to be a film that will blow our minds, literally. It just really got me excited and thrilled for this.
I'm just reliving that moment as soon as, I don't know why, but on that day the trailer came out, the teaser trailer, I woke up so early and I remember just opening up my phone, opening up YouTube, and I was like, oh my God. Are the rumors true? Because, before that we had heard that Green Goblin was in it and that Dr. Octopus was in it and, Sinister Six and whatever, we heard all of that. And then to watch the teaser trailer and then see that was just amazing.
It come true, wasn't it?
Yeah. But then still, even after seeing the teaser trailer and the official trailer, there was still so much that we still didn't know, so many theories going out. And then finally seeing the film, it's such a weight off your shoulders as well, because literally I felt like I was obsessed. So I think I can calm down now because I've seen it and I'm happy with what I saw. I thought it was awesome. I think it was definitely the best out of the trilogy. So better than Homecoming, better than Far From Home. Whether it's better than the original, I don't know.
That's a thing we could talk about.
That is a debate.
So for spoilers, a surprising character. I leave this to Emily because look, she's already excited.
I was thinking we were going to go into the bridge scene, so I was like, okay. There were two reasons why I watched this film. First reason was that Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, was going to be in it, and I was like, of course I got to watch it. He's like one of my favorite characters. The second reason was that Tobey Maguire was going to be back as Spider-Man, and I mean we'll get into all of that later. We'll focus on Matt Murdock. So we saw the leaked photo, right? And it was true. Matt Murdock was in there, and it was just 30 seconds. It wasn't very long, but it's a start. It means a couple of things. The first thing it means is that he's back.
On that same day, when we saw Spider-Man on Wednesday, before that, there was a Hawkeye episode. And in that very end, spoilers for Hawkeyes, if you haven't watched it yet, but in episode 5, we get a small cameo, like a small image of Kingpin in it. So that's like 2 Daredevil characters in one day. That was quite fulfilling. But some say Matt might actually appear in She-Hulk as well because they're both lawyers.
He's definitely going to appear in Echo though, because it makes sense.
Yeah, but also what's so great about during that scene is like at the same time we see like a stick in front and then everyone started clapping because we all knew who that belonged to. It was just amazing.
I was annoyed. I'm not going to lie. I was annoyed because I really wanted to hear the dialogue. So I feel like I might miss something. I was like, no, because he was only there for 30 seconds. I think I only heard like 10 seconds of it because everybody was clapping. And don't get me wrong, I'm so happy everybody loved to see Daredevil. But at the same time, I was like, no, shut up, people. I want to hear.
You must have hated me because I shouted a lot. They were sitting down. Matt was talking about Peter's rights and how he won't get charged for some of that. But then we see a brick through into the window and then Matt catches it.
And Daredevil catch.
He was like, how did you do that? Matt, I'm a very good lawyer. He's good lawyer.
All right, I think that's definitely one of my favorite scenes. If you haven't seen the Netflix Marvel shows, even though we're not sure what's happening, is it going to be a soft reboot? Is it not? But I would definitely recommend watching them because they're awesome. I've done a reaction with Grace, so I'll leave a card.
Then he goes off to Doctor Strange to ask if he could help. Peter and Doctor Strange were doing the spell, but then Peter kind of asked, like, oh, no, can you leave a few people out? Like my girlfriend, my aunt, my friend, or then the whole thing gone kabas. And may I say the CGI, like the visual effects were absolutely fantastic. And okay, after
Get to the good parts, Grace.
yeah, okay. So after the spell, Strange advised Peter to go to the MIT like lady who's
Officer, who's in charge of admissions.
I mean, Peter should have really done that before casting the spell.
Yeah.
Could have saved a lot of trouble. But anyway, so they're on the bridge, he's talking to the lady, and then we hear this bang, tentacles coming out, and then we see in Dark's mode the Dr. Octopus. Oh, this is just got interesting. We were all waiting for this moment, to be honest. And it just gone silent, and everybody was just waiting to see what the hell was going to happen next. So it was just fighting. It was really yeah. After that second, we see something coming out by the opposite side, which is, spoiler alert, the Green Goblin. Oh my god. Finally. It was amazing.
It ended as soon as we saw him. That was it.
Yeah, because Doctor Strange pulled them back in a basement, caught Dr. Octopus in a cage. Strange explained, instead of like casting a spell that makes people forget Spider-Man's identity, they actually brought in people from other universes who knows Spider-Man's identity. But when Doctor Strange said we have to get them back to their universe, which means they have to face their own death again, Peter can't stand that because he knows it's wrong. They're not executioners, because Doctor Strange is a doctor. And remember in the Doctor Strange film, he found that he has to save lives, not take them away. We heard him say that. It was just a very change of character.
I don't know. I agree with what Doctor Strange said, because I'm not saying that these villains didn't deserve a second chance or whatever, but they caused a lot of trouble. And they eventually do cause a lot of trouble. And there was just no other alternative at that point. He just wanted it to all be over because it was just causing a lot of trouble.
So then there's a big fight between the Green Goblin and Spider-Man. Near the end, Aunt May was willing to fight to save her nephew, but then we saw Goblin held a bomb and threw it at her, and I thought, oh shoot, this is not going to be good. But then she started walking, I thought, oh, thank God she's fine now. I thought, I don't know how she survived, but she's fine. And then she wasn't. She was actually bleeding behind. And that was a moment I started crying because I knew it was not going to end well. Because Peter was there. She was his only family left. That was so depressing. We get to go to see Ned and MJ in the house. And Ned has like the ring that Doctor Strange used to make teleport. And he said, show us Spider-Man. And a portal opens them up. And we do see a Spider-Man coming in, but it's not just Tom Holland Spider-Man, it's the costume from Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man jumps in and everybody's shouting like, yeah!
Oh, I feel like shouting at this point as well. that was I think that is like one of the best entrances we've ever had. Like that one and Thor arriving at Wakanda. I think those two entrances are the best we've ever had.
When he takes off his mask, everybody was shouting again. And then Ned thought, okay, take us to another Spider-Man. So we got another one, and the person comes in, and it's none other than Tobey Maguire himself coming in. It was great. It was so exciting. I mean, he looks quite older, of course, but it was amazing seeing. Now we got 3 Spider-Mans actually coming in. The rumors were true. It was amazing. I like how they know what it feels like to lose a loved one, losing Uncle Ben, losing Gwen. It was really heartwarming because Peter now sees like he's not the only one who feels alone, because he's literally got 2 other versions of him who went the same thing. It was it was just really great. It was sad, but it was very uplifting. Okay, then next scene. So Now, the three Spider-Mans are on their mission to cure all the villains. I'm going to say Tobey Maguire 1, and then Andrew 2, and then Tom Holland 3, because I don't want to get mixed up. Spider-Man 1 talks about how he lost his best friend, and then Spider-Man 2 said how he lost his best friend. And then we see Ned saying like, oh, he doesn't want to be like the best friend who betrays his Spider-Man. But then that is kind of linked to how like they say like Ned was going to be the Hobgoblin, which I haven't heard of, to be honest. Then we see all the three Spider-Mans up the Statue of Liberty, and we have like fun conversations with them, like Tobey Maguire's like stretching his back. It's great. And then they talk about how like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man is the only one that doesn't have like some web shooter.
Web shooters, yeah.
Yeah. We don't see this in the trailer, but we see how when all the three Spider-Man swing across, when all the villains were coming in, how they all landed like in their spider position. It was a great. I wish they had a poster for that.
Oh, that would have been good. That would have been good.
Yeah, and then they got into the fight. So then they cure the Sandman, they cure the Lizard. When they were gonna cure Electro, we see Electro caught Spider-Man 2 and 1, but then Dr. Octopus comes in, and we thought, oh shoot, he became bad again. But then he's on their side, he cures Electro, and I thought, whew. And then we have this small conversation between Electro and Spider-Man 2. He said, look at you, you're in a suit, you saved the poor, you're from Queens. And then he said, I thought you were going to be a black Spider-Man. And we all laughed because we knew, because Electro then said, well, there's got to be a black Spider-Man somewhere. And it's like, yeah, it's got Miles. Then the terror comes in when the Green Goblin returns. We see they're fighting off him. He slices Dr. Octopus' tentacles. And then we see MJ falling. And then we see Holland try to reach out and then got tackled by the Green Goblin. And then in that very moment, we see Andrew's Spider-Man leaps in to save MJ and then catch her. And we see him tearful. He's sad because that was his moment to actually save a life, where he couldn't save Gwen's in that kind of similar situation. It was so emotional. In the final battle, we see Tom Holland Spider-Man against the Green Goblin. It was quite a great fight. The one thing I kind of wish they did was like the music in the background. I feel like it wasn't very intense. It wasn't very like
dramatic.
Yeah, exactly. When Peter had Goblin at his mercy, he was about to kill him with the glider, and then straight in the middle of them, Tobey Maguire comes in. He didn't say anything. He just knows that like killing him won't bring Aunt May back. It was just really emotional because we see the rage in Holland's Spider-Man. And then right after that, we see a stab sound. And I thought, oh no, they killed Tobey Maguire.
I want to stop it there because I got to tell you something before that. So when we were going to the cinema, we were talking about, who's going to die, because, we knew someone was going to die. And I was like, Aunt May, Happy, Ned, or MJ. And Grace was like, Tobey Maguire. And I was like, no, shut up. No, they can't do that. And then that scene literally comes in, and I literally shouted at Grace. I literally turned around and went, Grace, I was like, you jinxed it. How could you? And I was literally...
But okay, then he survived, surprisingly, but he survived. Because the Green Goblin before, like, somehow opened the box, which then makes all the multiverse coming in, Doctor Strange had to, like, he can't control that, he can't stop that. And so Peter made the alternate sacrifice. He literally gave up his life. Literally. Not like death, but like, literally. So he asked Doctor Strange to cast a second spell where not only can people forget Spider-Man's identity, but just forget Peter Parker, so that no one will remember him. And for this will mean that if Doctor Strange never knew Peter Parker, then he would have never cast the first spell in the first place. So then Doctor Strange casts a second spell. All the villains and all the Spider-Mans have gone back to their universe, and then everybody forgets who Peter Parker is. And this was such a bittersweet ending I've ever seen. I mean, just seen Lucifer a while back, and I thought that was bittersweet, but this is probably the worst I've ever seen, the worst bittersweet. Peter has already suffered enough. He's still a kid. How can you do this to him? I mean, I understand he wants to take responsibility. He has to face the consequences, but this has gone too far. Because now he's all alone. He has no family. But now you just made him even more alone because now he's got no friends. He's got no one to remember him by. It was so heartbreaking. People didn't notice in the end, at the very end scene where we see Spider-Man swinging through the streets of New
Oh yeah.
York. There's this Christmas tree. And if you remember in Hawkeye episode 5, there is a Christmas tree as well. Because apparently Hawkeye is based after Spider-Man No Way Home. So we might see Spider-Man coming through Hawkeye, not sure, maybe, but it would be cool to have that link as well.
So yeah, I'm happy that we had both Spider-Man in there. I mean, of course we had Tom Holland. I mean the other two, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. I'm glad they were in there. It was great, you know. I've got to say that I'm going to be totally honest, but I think Tobey Maguire's performance wasn't as great. That was, like I said originally, that was one of the reasons why I watched the film. The original trilogy was what was like the first Marvel films I ever saw in my life. That was the first. That's literally what started it all, and then it was Guardians of the Galaxy and da 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 da. But I feel like in this movie, it was just lacking. I feel like Andrew Garfield was like really good. He was really hype, but Tobey Maguire's performance just seemed very dull. I don't know if it was just me, but personally, I just felt like I don't
There
know.
should have been more of it. Like he should have done more in this film. Like
Yeah,
we do get like a short, sweet moment of like him and Doctor Octopus like kind of rebond their relationship. But I was kind of hoping for him to talk with the Green Goblin and all that.
yeah. But I was hoping, yeah, me too. But then I was kind of thinking, oh no, that's gonna be another sad moment because he's gonna tell him that Harry's dead, or oh, I don't even know. That's just too much. Oh, but yeah, I just felt like his performance was lacking. I'm not sure if that's whether to do with Tobey Maguire himself, because maybe he's quite reluctant because it's been ages. Like those films came out early 2000s, and now we're literally in 2021, nearly 2022. So it's literally been ages. But yeah, I mean, I'm still happy he was in it, but I just feel like it just didn't feel the same, you know,
Yeah,
for me.
I mean,
You already know how I felt about Daredevil. Yeah, the film was good. I personally, the first half was really good. I like the part where we got to see the villains develop a bit more because all we saw really was just them being villains, but we got to see that they were redeemable, as you put. There is a different side to them, and it's something I really felt bad for Electro at the beginning, like
yeah,
of
obviously,
the Amazing Spider-Man, because I literally told that to Grace. I was literally like, he deserves so much more better, and I'm so glad they gave him that chance in this film. I think out of all of the villains, Green Goblin and Doctor Octopus was like brilliant. I'm really a bit annoyed that we didn't see enough of the Lizard. I feel like there just wasn't enough of him, and same with the Sandman as well. I mean, we got to see a bit, but I feel like we could have had a bit more. They really focused it on Electro, Green Goblin, and Doctor Octopus.
yeah.
So a bit more, but you know, you can only include so much in 2 hours and 30 minutes. I kind of found the second half just not as good. I don't know. It just felt kind of rushed, the ending, but I just felt like it was just lacking for me personally. But I'm not saying that it was bad or anything, but I don't know. It wasn't the best final battle that I've ever seen in the MCU.
Right, so I do have some questions people have been asking, and so like, how would Peter rent when he's in his new apartment? Because, like you said, birth certificates, and since Aunt May died, where would her money go? Because it would have gone to Peter, but now he can't get them because no one will remember him. So how the hell would he pay? Here's the first one. I got from the beginning. Where was Fury and Hill? Because we know in Far From Home that they were actually Skrulls, but what happened to them? Couldn't they back up Peter? People have asked, like, is Peter Parker still an Avenger? Because people still remember Spider-Man, but apparently he's not an Avenger because they wouldn't remember Peter coming in to fight during the Civil War. nobody will remember him fighting or going up against Thanos. Nobody will remember that. However, one question of mine would say that what about Tony Stark? Because during Endgame, when we see Tony looking at a picture of him and Peter, that kind of convinced Tony to go to back with the Avengers to time travel, if you remember that scene. So if Toby didn't remember that, I know he's dead, but if Toby didn't remember that, he wouldn't have come to help with the others with this time travel thing. So this it just leaves a lot of plot holes, truthfully.
Sorry, I was thinking that he was still an Avenger. Jesus, an Avenger. Jesus, such a mouthful. Such a mouthful.
Avenger,
I was thinking he was still one. I was just thinking all those moments, when he didn't have his mask off and everything. It would Doctor Strange's spell would sort of make it like as if he maybe might have just still had his mask on, or his face was blurred or something like that. So I think he's still an Avenger. I still think everybody knows Spider-Man, but they just don't know that Spider-Man is Peter Parker.
That's what I was thinking, but it's just so complicated here. So
at this point, anyway, perhaps we'll get it all cleared up soon.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and for MJ, I liked her. She was a very supportive girlfriend in this film. I really admire that. I just found like we didn't see much of her, to be honest. Like we didn't see much of her, like because we saw it in like Far From Home. She took out a weapon and fought against a drone. I thought that was very heroic, especially like for like a young teenager. But this, I didn't feel like we see her much of her like fighting or using her tech skills much. Like we see Ned on the computer, but we didn't see much of like MJ really. And I know I said this to you. I remember when I said I felt like there was this thing I kind of wanted to happen in this film. So like it's kind of like in The Amazing Spider-Man, we see Gwen helping Spider-Man like fighting against Electro, and then we see Gwen getting captured by the Green Goblin, which is Harry Osborn. I kind of want that the same to happen in this film. Like MJ is helping fighting against the villains or using her smart skills, and then somehow along the way she gets taken by the Green Goblin and used as bait. Just something like that. That's what I kind of wanted to see, like in a way. I know you said that I said this.
I mean, I'm literally all I'm gonna say was let's rewind to Venom Let There Be Carnage the review and play that footage here, because I mean Grace sort of just said the opposite there.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying like I want to see MJ kind of like just stand her ground a bit more. That's all. But that's kind of like in every Spider-Man film. There's literally someone's like love interest is getting like taken as bait. And yeah, that's quite like an interesting scene a bit, because we had to see Spider-Man like literally fighting much harder than he had to save the one he loved. For the villains, I'll say this once and I was gonna say this again. Marvel, you have wasted an opportunity to use the Sinister Six. I don't care if it was Rhino or Harry. You had an opportunity. Just bring an actual one person in this. That's all you needed to do. Because hold on, if they brought in villains who knew Spider-Man's identity, Electro never knew. So how did he somehow end up in the MCU? That's a plot hole.
Yeah, so I didn't get that.
Yeah, so shouldn't be a problem to bring in Rhino or someone, or use one of the villains in the MCU. You had an opportunity. It was such a waste.
I was literally saying this on the tube, like on the way to when we were watching, and I was like, literally, there's only going to be 5 villains. There's not going to be 6.
It's a waste.
It's not a waste. It's not a waste. Because they're gonna do it. They are gonna do it. They're gonna do it, and they're gonna make it great. I'm sure they're gonna do the Sinister Six, and they're gonna do it with Venom. They're gonna do it with Kraven the Hunter, Mysterio.
Kraven the
Hunter.
Mysterio or someone else Mysterio.
What do you mean?
Like they're doing a different version of Mysterio, or the MCU?
No, it'd be the same. The MCU version is basically the same as the Sony version, because they're both like...
Oh, I'm so confused. I'm just saying, if you bring one extra person...
Because
why were you so against it?
Because there would have been two Sinister Sixes. Because what they're doing now is they're trying to build up the hype for the Sinister Six, right? So if we had one Sinister Six group and then we have another Sinister Six group, it's just too much. Just build it up and make it great. I think when we have Venom and Kraven the Hunter and Morbius, that's it. Literally, how did I forget? Mysterio, Vulture, and someone
Scorpion.
else who. No, I don't think it was Scorpion.
Oh God, we need to think of another one.
I can't remember who it was, but there was someone else. We literally said it on the tube, and I was like, yes, I finally remembered all six. No, anyway, it doesn't matter. But when we have all six, I think that'll be great.
Would have been great if they had it here as well, but I would like to hear more about the Spider-Man's backgrounds. Like Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker, like how is he now? Like, is he married or does he have a kid? Or what about Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man? Like, how is he now? How is he doing? Like, is he still doing okay? Just would like to hear more from the other Spider-Mans.
I was expecting that. We'd probably maybe go back to their universe just for a little snapshot.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna do the mid-credits now, which I mean, I think we all knew what the mid-credits was gonna be. We knew at least one of the credit scenes was gonna have this. So we have Eddie Brock in a bar, and he's just trying to figure out what's going on because he's suddenly in the MCU and he's like, what's going on? And Venom's there as well, and I mean, Venom's like inside. He's not like outside or anything because that would have freaked out the bartender. But yeah, we see that whole thing, and he's trying to understand the superheroes in the MCU. And he's like, you got the Tin Man, Iron Man, you got the Green Monster, Hulk. He's like the purple alien, Thanos. You know, he's just trying to figure out everything. And then he stands up, and in that minute, he's like gone. He's out of the MCU because that's when Doctor Strange did that spell, and everybody who came in has gone. But at that moment, something got left behind on top of the bar counter, and it's a little bit of Venom. It's a little bit of his symbiote. Yeah, I think Spider-Man, Tom Holland, will get a suit, and it'll be the symbiote suit, sort of similar to the original. But I wasn't really happy with that. I don't know. I think some people might be, some people might not. But I'm one of those people who isn't. Yeah, because as soon as we had Eddie Brock in the MCU, as soon as we had it, he just went straight out. And I really wanted to see Venom as Eddie Brock fight against Spider-Man. And then maybe at some point something happens and they leave and a bit of the symbiote stuff gets stuck onto Tom Holland or something. You know, something. So I just found that quite disappointing that as soon as we had Venom and Eddie Brock in the MCU, as soon as we had them, they literally just left.
So I was actually, before this film, I was actually imagining if Peter Parker walking down the street and then he goes past Eddie Brock and then he gets up, his tingly thing works when he hears Venom's talking. And it's like, okay, this is going to happen. Just, I don't know. I want to see the connection. I don't know. Venom might say, this Spider-Man tried to kill me in one universe. Just something.
I was thinking of something similar. So I was thinking Tom Holland was going to walk by and Eddie Brock has got his camera because he's a photographer. So he's just about to take a photo and Venom's like, that guy. Because we all know what he means by that guy. Yeah, it was a wasted moment. But, you know, who knows? Who knows what might happen, you know? There's a lot of potential. Just a quick follow-up before we actually get into post-credits. If you haven't watched What If and if you haven't watched WandaVision, watch that first before you watch this because there are small little spoilers within the post-credits as well. Okay, so next on and our final part, which is quite sad because this is our last movie of 2021, our last Marvel movie, I should say, coming out. Anyway, yeah, so the post-credits scene, we knew it was going to be something Doctor Strange related. I thought it was just going to be a little snippet, but it's actually a decent length. It was a trailer, a teaser trailer maybe. I think we could call it a teaser trailer because it wasn't too long. It wasn't as long as the normal trailer, so it was a teaser trailer, I'd say, of Doctor Strange 2 or Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Yeah, it was great. There was just too much. I have to be honest. I would, like I said, I wasn't expecting it, and there was just too much happening. We already had No Way Home, and I was already like, whoa, and then we had this, and I was like, oh no, it's another load. So there's so much. So hopefully in like a couple of weeks' time, Disney will release the teaser trailer online so everybody can see it, especially for those who haven't been to the cinema yet. So yeah.
It took me by surprise, to be honest, because I was thinking there was going to be like a small scene. But what I like about it is that we get to see Wanda in it. We're going to see like how she's going to be very helpful with Doctor Strange. She's not going to be like some kind of person they're going to use as a soldier or anything. She's just going to be as a friend, helping.
Because I literally thought she was going to be the villain. I thought, well, the villain in the film, but not really a villain, just sort of like the bad guy in the film.
Well, that's why I'm kind of
But
happy
she's
about
not.
it. She's just going to be a supporting character, and I love her. I love this character. She's really a good person. And so what I heard from this trailer is that because Doctor Strange has wiped his memory of Peter Parker, he doesn't know about the multiverse, and because somehow the multiverse is getting out of control and he doesn't know why, so that's why he's come to Wanda for help. And so I remember a few scenes. So one of them is Christine getting married. So I thought Strange was there, he's going to be like the best man, or he could be the future husband to be. I'm not sure, but
I don't think so. It kind of looks like as if he's like in one of the pews. It doesn't look like he's right at the altar, which is, it's quite sad. But I guess part of the multiverse madness part of it. I don't know.
then we also see a scene of like a young girl, and I knew instantly it was going to be Miss America. Sorry, who she's going to be a new MCU character who
Wait,
is kind of like,
hold on. That's not Miss America.
yeah,
No, it's American Chavez.
who is also called Miss America.
Is it?
Yeah, that's her name.
Why has everybody just been calling her America Chavez?
Because that's her full name, and she sometimes calls herself Miss America.
Well, see, I know that. It's literally, everybody's literally just been saying America Chavez, and I was like, who on earth is this? It's
No,
Miss
she-
America. Why not just call her Miss America? You don't see everybody going Tony Stark, Tony Stark. You go Iron Man. You go, oh.
okay. We in the end of the teaser trailer, we see like Mordo, because now he's becoming a villain now, and we see an evil Doctor Strange, and instantly I thought this just came out from What If. Evil Strange versus good Strange. We all know how this is probably gonna end, but it just got me really intrigued. I also want to say, like, because if for people who don't know, if any of you have heard of Morpheus, not Morpheus, what's the devil's name?
Mephisto. That's it. Mephisto.
Yeah. Some say we might have a hint of Mephisto in Doctor Strange too. I'm not sure how, but that would make sense because he's kind of linked to both Wanda and Spider-Man. And I definitely think we're going to see the devil soon in the MCU. I just know he's going to be the new big bad. He's going to be the new Thanos in the MCU.
So yeah. So like what Grace is saying, we've literally seen so many characters in this. We've seen Strange Supreme, the evil version. We've seen Wanda, we've seen Wong, we've seen Mordo. We also saw, I don't know if anybody caught it. I'm sure you did, but there was this sort of like this alien sort of like tentacles and like the one eye. Do you remember seeing it? Yeah. So that creature is called Gargantos. I think I'm saying that right. And so apparently he's like from Atlantis, which has links to Namor. So a lot of people are thinking now that we might see a tiny little bit of Namor, like perhaps, you know, maybe even just a hint, maybe just, I don't know. You know how we got the mad Easter eggs and stuff, so maybe. But then there are also some people who are saying that it's not Gargantos, it's actually Shuma Gorath, which is the monster that Doctor Strange fought in What If in that episode. I'm kind of thinking that Mordo isn't going to be, I think he's going to start off as a villain, but I think at the end he's going to see that he's actually needed, that he actually needs to help. Because in one of the parts in the teaser trailer, he goes, "I'm sorry, Stephen, I hope you understand. The greatest threat to our universe is you." And so I feel like at that point, he's probably maybe talking to evil Doctor Strange. And then afterwards, he might see normal Doctor Strange. Good Doctor Strange. I don't know what you would call him. And I don't know. I really liked his character in the first Doctor Strange film. So I kind of want to see him sort of start off bad, but then come back and help save the multiverse. I've heard so many mixed stuff because there are people that are saying that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is like they showed some stuff to some people and people didn't like it, and I was like, oh my god, because this is literally a really big film. You got so many characters, and it's literally the next part. So whatever happens here is going to have like a direct link to perhaps the next Avengers film or something. And then there are people saying, I mean, we've heard that there are reshoots, and apparently they're big reshoots, and it's sort of like, oh no, what's gone wrong? And then I don't know who else has heard it, but we're apparently going to see Wolverine, we're going to see Professor X in here, well, Namor, like I said before. Apparently one of the credits will be Ghost Rider, maybe. So we're going to get a lot in this, apparently. I mean, look at how No Way Home went, right? We didn't know for sure that we were going to get Daredevil and Matt Murdock, same person. We didn't know we were going to get Tobey Maguire. We didn't know we were going to get Andrew Garfield, and we did. So perhaps these theories might be right. I mean, only time will tell. But yeah, so this film is looking out to be massive. So guys, that's the end of our review on Spider-Man No Way Home. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope you found it interesting listening to what we thought. And we want to know now what you guys thought about the film. If you've seen it, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. What are you doing? Go see it. You're missing out. But for those of you who've seen it, did you like it? Did you not? What was your favorite scene? Were you excited to see people come back? And you know who I'm talking about, but for in case if someone hasn't watched it and they're still listening, I'm not going to spoil it. Was it actually the most anticipated film of 2021? What do you think? And did it deliver? Because I think it did. Stay up to date with our content because we've got tons of stuff coming out. We've got our Marvel 2021 reaction, where we're going to go through all of the films that came out in 2021, and we're going to go through the TV shows too. We'll have that coming out sometime at the end of 2021 or maybe at the beginning of 2022. We've also got our Christmas and New Year special. We've done a murder mystery. So have a look at that. Maybe you'll enjoy doing that with your family and friends. But please don't forget to like and subscribe. And we hope to see you again soon. Thanks. And bye for now.
Bye.